When Ethan Blackwood's luxury sedan turned into the driveway 3 hours earlier than usual, he had no idea that those few stolen hours would change the definition of family forever. Ethan Blackwood was a self-made millionaire, a man whose name commanded boardrooms and whose presence silenced meetings, yet behind the polished suits and ruthless schedules was a widower still haunted by silence. Since the death of his wife 2 years ago, his mansion had felt less like a home and more like a carefully maintained museum, spotless, echoing, emotionally empty. His 3-year-old daughter, Lily, had stopped speaking after her mother's funeral. Doctors called it selective mutism triggered by trauma, therapists gave timelines and exercises, but none could promise when, or if, she would ever speak again. Nannies came and went, each lasting weeks at best. Some were too cold, some too scared, others simply gave up. Then came Anna. She had been hired quietly through an agency, nothing remarkable on paper, young, modest background, soft-spoken, no elite credentials. Ethan barely noticed her during the interview, his assistant had handled everything. To him, she was just another name on a list, another temporary solution. But on this particular afternoon, a cancelled flight brought him home early. As he stepped inside, loosening his tie, he prepared himself for the usual scene, silence, distant footsteps, maybe Lily sitting alone with her toys. Instead, laughter, clear, bright, unmistakable, floated from the kitchen. Ethan froze. His heart skipped so violently he had to grip the wall. Lily's laughter. He hadn't heard it in 2 years. Every instinct screamed that he was imagining it, but his feet moved on their own. What he saw nearly made him faint. In the warm glow of the kitchen lights, Anna stood at the sink, sleeves rolled up, washing dishes, completely relaxed. And perched on her shoulders was Lily, his silent, withdrawn daughter, laughing, gripping Anna's hair, her tiny feet dangling against Anna's chest. Lily's eyes sparkled with a joy Ethan feared he would never see again. For a split second, the world tilted. This was impossible. Lily didn't let anyone touch her like that. She didn't laugh. She barely made eye contact. Ethan felt his chest tighten, his breath shorten. He stumbled back, steadying himself against the doorframe. Anna noticed him then, turning in surprise. Her face drained of color as she quickly lowered Lily, worry flooding her eyes, apologizing in a rush, afraid she had crossed a boundary, afraid she was about to lose her job. But before Ethan could speak, something happened that shattered him completely. Lily looked straight at him, straight at her father, and in a small, clear voice that trembled but held, she said, "Daddy." The word hit him harder than any business loss, harder than grief, harder than shock. His knees buckled. Tears blurred his vision as years of guilt, absence, and regret crashed over him. Lily ran into his arms, clinging to him like she used to when her mother was alive, and Ethan understood in that moment that wealth had never been the problem, absence had. Later, as Lily slept peacefully for the first time in years, Ethan learned the truth. Anna hadn't forced therapy or pressure. She had simply been present. She talked to Lily constantly without expecting replies, sang while cleaning, let Lily sit on her shoulders while doing ordinary things, never treated her silence as brokenness. Anna herself had lost a younger brother to trauma-induced mutism, and she knew one thing doctors often forgot: silence is not emptiness, it's protection. That night, Ethan sat alone in his study, staring at contracts worth millions, realizing none of them mattered as much as what he had nearly missed. He offered Anna a permanent position, then hesitated, then did something he hadn't done in years: he asked for help. Not as a boss, but as a father. Over time, Lily's words returned slowly, unevenly, but genuinely. And Ethan changed too. He left meetings early, turned down deals, learned bedtime stories, and rediscovered laughter inside walls that once echoed with loneliness. The day he almost fainted became the day he woke up. And if this story moved you, if you believe that sometimes the smallest moments create the biggest miracles, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because the next story might just change the way you see family, love, and what truly matters.